appreciate all of you listeners making the time in your day to join us Monday through Friday for devotions with Brother Aaron. I'm so glad you're here. Today's devotion is entitled, When All Is Well. As a parent, I am reminded of times when our kids would be playing and everything would go quiet. You knew something was wrong when everything went quiet with a bunch of kids. That's kind of the same vein I'm presenting this devotion in today, that when all goes quiet, you know you got problems. When all is well. I attend a Monday morning pastor's prayer fellowship and have for many, many years. In one of the meetings, the pastor of the day preached about how to find Jesus in the midst of the storms of our lives. And he focused a little clearer as he spoke about Peter walking on the water to go to Jesus. He preached an excellent sermon, but my personal takeaway from his sermon was a quote he attributed to Pastor Michael Catt. He said, "Never let a loser tell you how to win." Woo-hoo. Jesus certainly wasn't a loser. He knew how to win, and thus his point. Model your Christian walk after the one who has proven to you that he has the power to conquer all of life's storms and that he will come to you in your storm, if necessary, walking on the water. Wow, ain't that good? The following week, the pastor of the day preached about how to find God in spiritually dry places, the spiritual wilderness of our lives, if you will. And the good Lord knows that from time to time, all of us walk through a spiritual wilderness. We have all experienced times in our Christian walk when the heavens were silent, and it seemed as though our prayers made it no higher than the ceiling, if that far. It's in times like these that I'm glad God put Isaiah 35:6 in the Bible. It states, "For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert." After the last prayer meeting, another pastor and I were talking. We were discussing the two diametrically opposed approaches these pastors had used to make virtually the same point. One told us how to find Jesus in the storms of our lives, and the other told us how to find him in the wilderness of our lives. Both were driving at the same point. We can find Jesus in any circumstance of our life if we will only seek him. No storm is so rough and no wilderness so barren that it can separate us from the love and presence of God. As we continued talking, my friend made an observation. He told me that he didn't have a hard time praying, seeking, and finding God in the storms of life. His storms drove him to Jesus. He said the same thing about the wilderness areas. They, too, drove him to pray, seek, and find Jesus. He stated that the most difficult time in his Christian walk is when all is well. Wow, that resonated in my spirit and in my soul. You see, I too find that when things are at their best in my life, I tend to be at my weakest, spiritually speaking. And if you were honest, you would admit the same. Oh, no, I don't turn into a heathen. I'm not saying that. But I tend to find myself slacking in my prayer life, being a little more judgmental and a little less tolerant of others, slacking in carrying out my Christian duties with a joyful heart, and even slacking in my biblical studies and quiet time with God. But hey, let's get honest. I seem to be able to find time for everything but God's things. My friend, these things ought not be so. I have a feeling that I'm not the only dog named Rover running in this pack. As Christians, our most fervent times of prayer, Bible study, Christian service, and being in tune with God should not be the crisis times of our lives. It should be the times when all is well. If we put the same effort and commitment into our relationship with Jesus when all is well as we do in times of crisis, I believe we would face far fewer crises. You see, Our relationship with Christ should be developed when all is well. Many have been the times, and I'm being Judgment Day honest here, when as a pastor, things would grow eerily quiet in the church. During those times, I have literally spoken aloud, "Okay, Satan, where are you? I know you're up to something somewhere. Show yourself." It's during the times that all is well that we should be drawing closer to God than ever. As the eye of the storm, Satan is coming. You can mark it down. And hey, I have a feeling that I'm not the only one who needed to hear this devotion today. Lord, in the times when all seems well in our walk with you, please help us keep our prayer life in order and be aware that just as when a bunch of children fall silent, something is afoot somewhere. Please help us to stay prayed up and spiritually prepared to face our adversary. And I ask this in your name, amen.